I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. The 7th generation of Pokemon brought a bunch of new changes to the series, and one of the best changes was to the Pokedex. No, not that change. Ah yes, this change. The Rotom Dex had very unique dex entries that really spiced up the lore in the Pokemon universe. It also brought some new mysteries of certain Pokemon to light, and it also cleared up some mysteries in the process. And in Claydol's case, the Rotom Dex managed to do both. Cause we got new information on Claydol's strange origins, and at the same time, we may have gotten an answer to a big part of the question that came from this new information. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Claydol and its interesting relationship with Celesteela, and how Celesteela might have been the Pokemon that Claydol was based on. What's going on, guys? HybridHero here. Today, I got a great Pokemon theory from the Reddit user RadDudesMan. I know, I haven't done one of these in quite a while. It's a pretty quick yet interesting theory, and I've also added points from Rosalia R, who is a viewer and a Reddit theorist that I mentioned on the channel before. So, if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to hero punch the like button. If you don't, hit that dislike button. Let me know how you feel. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions. What do you think of this theory, and what Pokemon do you think Claydol might have been based upon? Let me know. Share the video if you want to help support the channel. And finally, subscribe and hit the little bell icon if you want to stay up to date with all my content. Now, let's get started. Throughout its history, Claydol has been known to be a very ancient and bizarre Pokemon. Its origins through previous dex entries have always stated that it was a doll made out of clay. Wow, I never would have guessed. By ancient humans around 20,000 years ago. It was brought to life by being exposed to some mysterious ray of light. Its beam shooting arms are separate from the rest of its body, and it stays afloat using its telekinesis powers. But besides that, we don't know too much about the Claydol Pokemon. That's literally its category under the Dex, by the way. Gee, tell me more, Dex. That was until Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where we got 2 new Dex entries for it, and the Ultra Moon Dex entry reveals some pretty valuable information. The ancient people who made it apparently modeled it after something that descended from the sky. It fires beams from both arms. Of course, we already knew about the Claydol arm lasers, but what we didn't know before was that it was modeled after something that descended from the sky, and that more than likely could have been Celesteela. We're going to start off with physical similarities. I know a good number of you probably think that their designs don't look too similar, but there are some odd similarities here. Both Celesteela and Claydol have pointy things at the top of their head. They both lack any actual legs and fly, and most importantly, they both have floating arms that shoot beams and stuff. And as we mentioned before, firing beams from its arms, yeah, it seems to be pretty important to Claydol, and it's pretty important to Celesteela as well, if you don't run into a typical stally Celesteela on VGC, that is. Not only that, but if we go back to Claydol's Ultra Moon Dex entry, it said that it was modeled after something that descended from the sky. Obviously, in this case, it would be Celesteela coming out of an Ultra Wormhole, and the wording of something is in Celesteela's favor, as Ultra Beasts aren't necessarily labeled as Pokemon by the humans in our Pokemon world, but usually are labeled as things. Also, Celesteela's Dex entry does say that it has been witnessed flying at high speeds. So, the way I see it is, if the ancients saw this thing moving fast, and they saw it from the bottom up, I think a design like Claydol's isn't out of the question. But of course, there's more to it than that. Claydol is based off of the Shikoki Dogu, probably mispronounced that, so forgive me, which are spacemen-like clay figurines from the prehistoric Japanese Jomon period. And there are a good number of conspiracy theories on the internet that say that the ancient people who created the Shikoki Dogu were inspired by ancient aliens that visited and left the world a long time ago. Celesteela is based off the princess who was sent from the moon to the earth from the famous Japanese story, The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter, or as she's more popularly known as, Kaguya. No, not that Kaguya, although she is based off the same alien princess. An alien that could have likely been the inspiration for the Shikoki Dogu. And finally, to wrap things up, we have the location of each Pokemon. Pokemon Moon, you can catch 2 Celesteela at the Hane Desert, but that obviously changed with Ultra Moon, as you can only catch it in its world, the Ultra Crater, So while you couldn't catch it in the Hyena Desert in Ultra Moon, you could catch a Pokemon that grows up to be a similar Pokemon to Celesteela. Claydol's pre-evolution, Baltoy. Baltoy and Claydol were added to the expansion of the Alola region's Pokedex with the Ultra games, but they were made exclusive to Ultra Moon, the same game that Celesteela was made exclusive to, and is only able to be found in the Hyena Desert, the same place that Celesteela was once able to be found. And in case you've forgotten, Claydol's recent Ultra Moon Dex entry is what caused this whole theory in the first place. New information that was just added to Claydol that didn't need to be added, but was added in the 7th generation of Pokemon. It really does make you wonder why Game Freak decided to add it now. But with the Dex entry stating that it was modeled after something that descended from the sky, the physical similarities to Celesteela, Claydol's origins being that of the Shakoki Dogu, a clay figurine supposedly inspired by aliens, Celesteela's origins being that of the alien princess Kaguya, and Celesteela being an alien itself to our known Pokemon world, and the location and the version exclusivity of both Celesteela and Baltoy, I think it's safe to say that Game Freak added this Dex entry to let us know that in the Pokemon world, Claydol is in fact modeled after Celesteela. But hey, this is just a theory. That's not copyrighted. Once again, thank you for Rad's Dude Man for letting me use this theory. I really appreciate it, you rad dude. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to let me know what you guys thought of the theory. Take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video, alright? Later.